I still remember the night like it was yesterday. The fluorescent lights of the diner's parking lot cast an eerie glow on the deserted asphalt, making the shadows dance like living things. I'd been working the graveyard shift for hours, sipping on a lukewarm cup of coffee, my eyes scanning the endless stretch of highway for any sign of trouble. The radio crackled to life, dispatch's voice like a whispered secret in my ear. Unit 12, we have a 10 to 13 at the old Miller place, off County Road 5. Reports of a possible hostage situation. My heart jumped, my gut twisted into a knot. I'd dealt with my fair share of domestics, but this one felt different. Something in the dispatcher's tone told me this was going to be a long, dark night. I hit the sirens, feeling the rumble beneath my feet as I peeled out of the parking lot, the tires screeching in protest. The road unfolded before me like a twisted ribbon, the darkness swallowing me whole. As I turned onto County Road 5, a sense of unease crept over me. The Miller place loomed in the distance, a two-story monstrosity of a house that seemed to lean in, as if it was listening. I could see the flashing lights of the other units, their red and blue strobes casting an otherworldly glow on the trees. My mind was racing, thoughts tumbling over each other like a runaway freight train. What had happened here? Who was involved? I skidded to a stop, my boot crunching on the gravel as I leapt out of the cruiser, my heart pounding in my chest. The air was heavy with tension, the silence oppressive. I flashed back to my training, the protocols, the procedures. This was it. This was the moment I'd been preparing for my whole career. I took a deep breath, my hand resting on my gun, and stepped into the unknown. I crouched behind this godforsaken tree, my boots sinking into the permafrost as the wind whips my face like a razor. We're in the Siberian wilderness, 30 miles from nowhere, and I'm praying we don't get caught in a storm. My partner, Jen, is on comms with dispatch, her voice low and urgent as she tries to pinpoint our location. I glance at the map, trying to make sense of the twisted, Russian letters, our only hope for finding the girl. My heart's racing like a jackrabbit, sweat trickling down my spine despite the biting cold. We received a tip about a missing teenage girl, American tourist who wandered off from a guided tour. Her parents are frantic, and we're the only ones who can find her. But something's off, the locals are tight-lipped, and I can sense an undercurrent of fear. I scan the horizon, my eyes straining against the glare. The trees seem to stretch on forever, their branches etched like skeletal fingers against the gray sky. Suddenly, Jen's voice cuts through the static. "Deputy, I've got a location, but it's not what I expected." My gut twists, that familiar knot of dread forming. I nod, even though she can't see me, my mind racing with the possibilities. What are we walking into? Is she still alive? I take a deep breath, the icy air burning my lungs, and push off from the tree. We move in silence, our boots crunching through the underbrush as we push into the unknown. The Siberian wilderness is unforgiving, and I'm not sure if we'll make it out alive. My mind's still racing, trying to process the events of that fateful day. We'd been tracking a lead on a notorious human trafficking ring, one that had left a trail of broken lives and shattered dreams. Our investigation had been ongoing for months, but every lead seemed to end in a dead-end alley or a false promise. It was a crisp autumn morning when we finally got our break. A tip from an anonymous source led us to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. My partner, Mike, and I arrived in our unmarked unit, our hearts pounding in anticipation. We'd been through this drill before, but the stakes were higher this time. As we approached the warehouse, I could smell the sweet, acrid scent of gasoline and decay wafting through the air. My gut told me we were getting close. Mike gave me a nod, and we fanned out, our eyes scanning the perimeter for any signs of activity. That's when I saw her, a young girl, no more than 17, with a look of desperation etched on her face. She was huddled in the corner, her eyes fixed on us with a mix of fear and hope. I felt a surge of adrenaline as I quickly assessed the situation. We had to move, and fast. "Mike, I've got eyes on the girl," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the wind. "We need to get in there now." Mike nodded, and we exchanged a look. I could see the same calculation in his eyes. We were in this together, and we were going to get her out. Little did we know, we were walking into a web of deceit that would unravel in ways we never could have imagined. I remember it like it was yesterday. We'd been tracking the governor's aide, Mark Thompson, for weeks, following a trail of cryptic messages and whispers about a secret meeting. It was supposed to take place at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, under the cover of darkness. I'd assembled a team, including my partner, Rachel, and 2 other deputies, Jenkins, and Martinez. We'd arrived at the warehouse just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the deserted streets. As we approached the warehouse, I could feel a growing sense of unease. Thompson had been known to be ruthless, and I had a bad feeling about this. We moved in, fanning out around the perimeter, our eyes scanning the shadows. The wind picked up, rustling the broken glass and old wood, making it sound like the warehouse itself was alive and watching us. "Stay sharp, guys," I whispered into the comms device. "We don't know what we're walking into." Rachel's voice came back, steady as always. "Got eyes on the entrance, Sarge. It's clear." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. My heart was racing now, pounding in my chest like a jackhammer. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. This was what I'd trained for. But something didn't feel right. As we pushed open the creaking door, a cold draft of air swept out, carrying with it the stench of rot and decay. I stepped inside, my gun drawn, my eyes adjusting to the dim light. That's when I saw it, a room filled with people, all of them seated, their faces blank, their eyes glassy. And in the center of the room, Mark Thompson, a cold smile spreading across his face like a crack in the earth. My mind's a blur, but one thing's etched in my memory like a scar: that night in Magadan. Our unit was dispatched to a 10-13, a hostage situation gone wrong. I remember the crunch of gravel beneath my boots as we rolled up, the flashing blue and red lights casting an eerie glow on the deserted streets. My partner, Jenkins, and I were the first to hit the scene, our rifles at the ready. We hit the ground, assessing the situation. The perp had taken a family of 4 hostage, and from the look in his eyes, I knew we were in for a long night. The father's eyes were locked on his kids, a mix of fear and defiance. The perp, a young punk with a scar above his left eyebrow, was shouting incoherently, waving a hunting knife. My heart's racing, sweat's dripping down my face. I can feel my palms getting slick on the grip of my rifle. I'm thinking, what's the play here? We can't let this kid get away with this. I glance over at Jenkins, and we lock eyes. He nods, and we both know what we're thinking. We're gonna try to talk this out. The perp's eyes dart between us, his grip on the knife tightening. I take a step forward, my voice calm and steady. "Hey kid, put the knife down. Let these people go." The perp's face contorts, and for a moment, I think we're gonna have a problem. But then, something snaps inside him, and he takes off running, the hostages in tow. I'm after him, my boots pounding the ground, my rifle at the ready. This is it. My gut's telling me we're gonna need a miracle. My gut's been churning for weeks, ever since the whispers started. Whispers of corruption, of deals made in the shadows. I brushed it off, told myself I was just a small-town deputy. What did I know? But the unease lingered. It's a feeling I know all too well, a nagging sense that something's off. I'm standing outside the county commissioner's office, my eyes scanning the parking lot. It's a drizzly evening, the kind that makes you want to stay inside with a cup of coffee. But I'm here for a reason. I've been called in to investigate a tip about a land deal gone sour. Sounds innocent enough, but I know the players involved. I know the commissioner's got a reputation for bending the rules. As I step inside, a chill runs down my spine. I'm met with a familiar face, one that's supposed to be a friend. The commissioner's assistant, Rachel, looks up from her desk, a hint of a smile on her face. But it's not the smile I'm used to. It's forced, like she's trying to hide something. "Hey, deputy," she says, her voice a little too bright. "What can I do for you?" I take a deep breath, trying to shake off the feeling of unease. "I'm here about the land deal," I say, my eyes locked on hers. "I've got a source that says it's a little more complicated than you're letting on." Rachel's smile falters for a split second, and I see a glimmer of something else in her eyes. Fear, maybe. Or guilt. My heart starts to pound, and I know I'm onto something.